Welcome back. We've been working on building a streaming music service with Phoenix and Elixir. And last time we added some convenient stuff for doing Phoenix development to the project, and we stubbed out the player, or the front end, that will actually play the stream in a web browser. So this time I thought we'd dive into starting to build out that front end, and in particular I thought a good place to start would be with building a convenience function to make XML HTTP requests back to the server, do some JSON, do some kind of AJAX type stuff. Probably not quite REST. In fact, it's not going to be REST at all, really. But we'll use JSON and XML HTTP request, which pretty standard stuff. So how do we want to do this? Let's just write the script. Oh no, it's gonna try and indent for me. I don't prefer that. Can I ask it not to? Editor. Indentation, okay. Auto wrap lines. Automatically indent new lines, okay. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I want that, but I usually don't indent my HTML the way a lot of folks do. I guess we'll go with it for now and see how it works out. I might end up fighting with it a lot. Anyway, so yeah, I want to make a function that we can call with like a path and have it do an XML HTTP request to that path, and asynchronously, and call a callback with the parsed response. We'll use that for getting the audio we need, getting the background that we need, and we may use it for some other stuff in this project. And in particular, I would like, especially for the player, but in general, when I do something like this, I would like to automatically retry that request with exponential backoff. And that really reduces the number of cases where a user might need to reload the page to get it working again, right? If there's some transient network issue, if I have to restart the server, if just something funny happens, like the app on the client side should recover and continue to work. But we don't want to just like retry over and over at a very short interval, because then if we have, a problem, or even a longer interval, if it's the same interval for every client, because even if you had like a 3 or 4 minute interval, if the server was down for a moment and then came back up, then it could be that all the clients will make a request at the same time, which I actually think that Phoenix and Cowboy and Elixir could handle, but it's definitely not something I'm interested in testing out live. I'd much rather have retries trickle in, kind of randomly, and I'd like the spread of how frequently the retry happens to expand the longer it is unable to successfully retry. So exponential backoff's a good choice, I think. So we'll have a callback. I think I'm doing this JS doc right. I haven't done this in a while, but just let me know down in the comments if I'm screwing it all up. We'll have a callback that's like something like that. Called with is with parsed response. So this has a parameter. Okay. And then, so this is perform an XML HTTP request for the given path. Calls the given callback, calls the given function on success. We could also have a callback for failure. I don't think we'll use that in this application, but if we need it, we can add it easily enough. Calls given function on success with the parsed response. Okay, so we're going to have like a path. I think it's going to be more like the whole URL, right? URL. Perform the request on what's it called over here? Method open URL. Yeah, we'll stick with that. I don't like to have too many different names. URL to send the request to. I like the way they put that. URL to send the request to. I don't usually put a period there. And then what else do we need to have? Callback. Called on success with the parsed response. Oh, you know, I haven't been, what I got to put in here is that's a string. Right? This is the right way to do it, I think. And then I think in fact, we could probably call that CB. And I think everything else is optional. Let's call that opts. Oh, it's just param. So what are our optional things? So the method. Should we, I guess. Method? No, what am I doing here? Hello. String, HP, method. There we go. Method. Request method defaults to post. We'll always do posts, but it's going to be an option on here anyway. Excuse me. Sometimes I get a little hitch in my giddy up. Right. The increment number, is that? Am I remembering? JavaScript data types, huh? Yep. That's, what's it, number type? Is it just called number? Okay, cool. That's what I thought. Weight increment. Yeah. explain that. Like, that is not... It's the smallest amount by which to increase the time to wait between retries. Smallest. You know, that's like the minimum. Yeah. Increment kind of tells the wrong story about that. Milliseconds. Time in milliseconds to wait between retries. I think. And then there's also a wait limit, longest, largest. Amounts of time are shortest and longest. Amount of time in milliseconds to wait between retries. So we won't let that number grow infinitely. I guess maybe I will put to which the request will be sent. Guess I will put that there. It's not quite a sentence, but we'll go with it. Optional options. Well, I guess that gets a period too. Defaults to 1000. Defaults to 600,000. That's 10 minutes, right? Seems like enough. Every 10 minutes would be, and we can always adjust it. XML HTTP request to be an existing request to retry. Defaults to a new request. Okay. And, let's put their account here. In fact, yeah, error count, number of errors already encountered. Defaults to 0. Does it return anything? Returns. Is it return or return? Never remember. Returns. Okay, cool. Returns, I guess we'll return the XML HTTP request. Request. New or existing request. Yeah, just in case we need it. We could want to call a board on it, for example. Okay. Well, with the documentation written, there's really That's all the interesting stuff about this function, isn't it? Call it XHR, I think. And we take an URL, we take a callback, and we take options. And yeah, so we gotta, I know I'm not using any new JavaScript stuff. In fact, as we get further, I don't think in this that there's any danger, but as we get further into it, I'll actually take some effort to support fairly old browsers, I think. I'd like to not unnecessarily exclude anyone from using this, and you know, I'm not going to go to like heroic lengths to like support IE6 or something, but if somebody has a computer that's a little out of date, I think they might like to still be able to listen. Now, when we get into the more, like if you're an artist and you want to submit material or something like that, I'm a little more willing to say like, you know, you're going to need to have something a little newer. If that makes sense, I'm not going to go out of my way to require it, but I will put some effort into making the player at least have reasonably broad compatibility. And I don't have a particular target in mind for that right now. I would just like to kind of judge each effort on its own merits. And so, you know, if it's really hard to support a particular version, then maybe we won't. But anyway, I'm not going to use all of the newest, fanciest stuff. I know how to do it the old way. I've been doing it since the 90s. And, you know, I may trip up and accidentally use something newer than what I think it is. If so, let me know down in the comments. But I'll be testing it on some older browsers, and so hopefully we'll catch out any of those issues. So yeah, no let, we're just doing var. And yeah, so what are some of the things we need? We need HTTP method, what was it? Opts, post, weight minimum, or 1000, weight limit, weight limit, like a road, right? Error count, 0. That one I think is it's a little bit of a special case. So let's see. Let's do it like that. But then we also need to say this. I'm a little, yeah, maybe I don't want to actually destructure that right now. I think I want to keep everything in opts because we're going to recurse this. So yeah, I don't want to have to put it all back together. So yeah, actually let's do something more like this, right? And keep it all in the opts. Sorry. Yeah, I think this is going to be better. Yeah. So this one's actually going to be kind of longer because we've got some setup to do on the request. Okay, but I think all these other ones are okay. Okay, so what are some of the things we need to do on here? I want to close your eyes if you don't like this way of setting handlers, but I like these are the handlers on this. We're not adding new ones, or we're not going to stack them up or anything, you know. With like add event listener. Now, I believe it's fine, you know, if the calling function were to add on to that, but when we set up a new one, we're just dropping these right on here. Event console. How well, I'm curious though. I'm not gonna not use it, but well, that's been around a pretty long time. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this isn't gonna work on older browsers, but that's okay because it's just for debugging. So I think that's okay anyway. So let's, oh, yeah, weird, right? I always use single quotes in my JavaScript, so let's use them here. So I want to say like, oh, pardon me for a second. Okay, nothing critical. So I want to like put into the debug log every event that happens on these. You know, it's easy to filter out, but it's great for if you can't figure out why something happened the way it did, like exactly what steps happened, right? So XHR abort event, and yeah, I do want to say like, so I think the event has the request on it, but let's dump opts too, just in case it's relevant in these debugs. Have it right there handy. So if it aborts, that's not really an error. Like that was intentional from like our point of view, like the front end's point of view. That was deliberate. So we'll just set we won't do anything. We'll just log it. We're not going to recurse or anything. So errors are a real deal though. So let's now in this case we want to increment the error count because we'll use that later. And then we're going to recurse. So we'll say Earl callback and options. And that's why I didn't want to take the options all apart. We want to pass those back, so I don't want to have to reassemble them every time. Do I want to comment all of these callback functions? I think I do. Don't recurse on abort, just log it. Yeah, I don't think we need super deep comments, but I don't know, I might revisit these, but just to give some signposts in here, you know. Load. Callback on load, success, recurse on error status. Recurse, we should probably just say retry, because that's really what we mean, right? Yeah, no need to use crazy lingo there. Unload. So this is a little different. What is called status, right? And what statuses can there be? Oh, it's just the status code from the actual HTTP response. So if ops.request.status greater than equal to 200 and it's less than 300. So if it's a 200 series response, then XHR load success event opt. Okay. Actually, let's just, I don't really care to split that out. We'll just say XHR load. That's fine. So in this case, we will just call the callback. So the response. Request type. Is that something? Response type. Is that something new? XML HTTP request at risk. Wow. Is that's newish? Yeah. So response. I think response is the old thing. Like that's just in older browsers that just comes back as the raw. It really doesn't. Wow. What? Response XML. Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, we're not gonna produce XML on the server side, I don't think. So we'll only be going back to IE 10, which is coming up on 10 years old. So, I mean, that's probably fine. When did Internet Explorer, what operating system does that get us back to is what I'm curious about. IE 11, sure. Yeah. IE 10, oh, it's got its own page, cool. Shipped on Windows 7, SP1. So this doesn't get us back to Windows XP. I think that's okay. I think anybody using XP in 2021 is probably not using the default browser. They probably installed Chrome or Firefox. Yeah, I'm good with this. Let's only go back to IE 10 and I'll try and remember that for in the future so we don't have to revisit it too much. Yeah. So the response, but I don't think we can get the array buffer blob document JavaScript object. So can I use XML HTTP request dot request response type? How far back does that go? I feel like that's really, it goes all the way back to there too. Okay, cool. So we'll enumerated string specifying the type of data and the response. Oh, well, do we set request? Oh, okay. If the server returns data that is not, the response will be set to null. So, yeah, really? Oh, okay. So yeah, JSON's not supported in IE at all. Okay, yeah, we're not gonna do that. Okay, so we'll just grab whatever. Response, do we want the response text? I think we just want the response text, right? Oh. Is that... Okay. Oh yeah, I mean, that's fine. So we want to grab the response text. Oh no, sorry, it's opt.request response text. So that's what we want to read, and then we got to JSON decode it. Yeah. No. Maybe. JSON.parse. Return JSON.parse. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. Yeah, do I think, you know what? Let's do this. And let's separate that out. Event, opt, and response, because we might want to peek at that. Yeah, I think that's going to be a convenience. So now, if we didn't get a 200 series status back, then that means something went wrong server side. And so this is an error and we should retry it. So we'll log that, load error, event opt status. Yeah, and ops error count roll cb opt, like that. Okay, so that's handling errors. There's something else we need to, or load. Abort, error, load, timeout is the other thing. Glad I made some notes. Retry on timeout. So if we can't get a response from the server in, whatever the default timeout is, and if we want to, we could add that to opts later and pull it in, but I think whatever the default is going to be fine for me. Timeout, event, opts, and ops error count increments, XHR, callback, opt. Right, so that's the setup. Yeah, I think that's all the setup on the request. Now, we need to know how long we should wait before actually performing the request. So if it's a brand new request, 0 errors, we won't wait at all. We'll wait until the next time around the event loop, but we won't wait any specific amount of time. Now, if there's errors, then we need to do the exponential backoff, and that's this little formula I've got in my notes here. So we're gonna say max wait. So this is the longest that we would possibly wait. Because remember, we're going to pick a random wait time between 0 and this. But the longest we would wait depends on how many errors we've had and the increment that we can set. So it's 2 to the ops dot. Right, so if it's 0 errors, then this will 2 to the 0 is 0, 2 to the -1. Let's think for a second. Yeah, I think this is right. So we'll find out. I mean, we'll play with it a little. Right, so that's the longest we would wait. How long we'll actually wait is like that. Now there's a limit. If max wait is greater than ops.wait limit, then max wait's going to be like that. So that can only go so high regardless of the error count. We'll let the error count keep growing, but we're going to limit out on what's the longest you could possibly have to wait. Okay, and that should pick a random interval. So then set timeout. I think that the arguments to this are the opposite of what I always think. I think the delay goes second, right? That's how it is. A little closure here. Don't forget to do that. XHR wait. So in this case, we want to say the URL no, we'll just put the opts. And max wait and the selected wait there. So we can have a good idea of what our parameters to this were. And then XHR send. Okay. Yeah. So opt.request. I think we got to do an open. Oh, have you got a? Something's ringing in the back of my head. Okay, right. You only call open once, and you can call send over and over again, I think. So let's actually do the open up here. Open, and in fact, should we do it at the top? Because isn't there something in the back of my head telling me that you want to do that? I think there is. Method, URL, and asyncs already how we want it. User password we won't use. Okay, so yeah, let's get that open right there. And then down here, we'll just send it, right? Okay. And a body of data. We should probably take that as an option, don't you think? Should we? I mean, in this case, the immediate uses of that I don't intend to. I guess it's gonna be I guess we're just gonna send that. So let's make a note that you can set it. You can send form data. Is that newer? I feel like that's kind of a... well, it exists in Internet Explorer 10. Can you send it? I guess, maybe. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that could be just any kind of object, I guess, then. I mean, you know. The request, if any. I think that's fine. And I think that will work. Okay. Yep, there's our script. And well, there's really nothing to, we don't have anything to call it against, but let's just try something. We'll say, so the first thing's the path or the URL, right? Yeah. Local, oh boy, you gotta spell some of that right. Localhost 4000, foo, no callback, and no options, so we'll just leave those off. Undefined is not an object. Evaluating HTTP. Oh. Ops equals ops or, and an empty object. How's that? Cool. Oh, you know, you could... No, I better not do that. So we wait, but we waited not a number. That's probably not right. We did send it. That's exciting. But none of our... Oh, wow, man. Why didn't you tell me about that? You're right here. You're watching me make these mistakes, and you're just like, he's making a mistake. Okay. I see how it is. That's fine. That's fine. The object is... So maybe we do need to redo the open. Yeah, so it came back with a 404 not found. That's cool. I'm fine with that, but wow, man. Yeah. And that's in ops, so there's really no reason to... We already got that. That's fine. One thing at a time. We're gonna hash this out one thing at a time. Now, I'm concerned by this situation here. Why are these not a number? So max weight, oh, because I called it the wrong name. There we go. See if that clears some things up. Boy, it sure did. Great. So that's sort of cool. It does end up waiting though, which... Why don't we force that to... Yeah, I thought... So, yeah, let's... ops.error count... Otherwise 0. Let's see how that did us. Yeah, so that we get no delay for the first try. We do the send. We get back the non-200 series response. We do a wait. We wait about half a second. That's perfect. The only flaw in this law is the object's in an invalid state. So do we need to redo the open, I think? So maybe we don't do that up here. Maybe we'd better do that down here. I had something in the back of my head that we didn't necessarily want to set these handlers until it was open, but maybe I'm mixing that up with something else. Let me know. Yeah, look at it go. And there the max weight's going up. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Incremental backoff works. Exponential backoff. You know what I'm talking about. That's great. That's really cool. So I'm happy with that. Let's call that a video. We're pushing up on an hour, I guess. So let me commit this. And XML HTTP request. Convenience. XHR convenience function. Commit that. Cool. So that's happening. So probably next is we'll go over to the other side and make, probably endpoints for both the background and the audio, and then we can play around with them in the JavaScript console, see that work, and then we'll build out some more JavaScript to actually, and some HTML of course, to actually like bring those things into the page itself where the listener can enjoy them. So great. Well, if you notice anything I did horribly wrong, please let me know down in the comments. If you have any questions about what I did or why I did it, please ask them, and maybe we can learn something from each other. And let me know how I'm doing with the videos, and anything you'd like to see me do different, or any technical issues you notice. Yeah, until next time, take care.